Hello, how are you today? Just wanted to do a little check-in after yesterday's big full moon, glorious eclipse, all that energy and astrology, and how it impacted and affected you. And if you're new to me, Donnell, this is the Embodied Oracle Show. I film this show almost every week so that I can provide some insights and some guidance and some support, basically. And, you know, kind of just want to dive into this topic and discuss, even if you're not a big astrology fan, when we have these energetic days where, whether it's a new moon or full moon or these eclipses and all these things that are happening, there is a theme that goes with the energy. And the theme kind of tells you what area of your life might be impacted or affected. And I love, if you've worked with me before, I adore using astrology in a way that can be supportive. So when you're living your life, you can it's like you get to kind of tap into that theme and say, how am I tracking with that? Because I believe one of the biggest gifts that we have is self-awareness, to be able to notice and really get an idea of how is this impacting me, what is showing up in my life. And with eclipses that we just had yesterday, and it's going to be lasting for the rest of this week. It's not just like one day and then it's over. It kind of has a theme that continues for at least a few days. And the eclipse is, I said this on a reel yesterday. It's almost like a computer shutting down. And when it shuts down, it's going to upgrade. And when it comes back online, it's going to have new information, new awareness around a specific aspect of your life. And the specific aspects have to do with the theme being in Taurus, the theme being going from Scorpio to the Taurus sign. And so that there was a set of eclipses. And with Taurus, and I'm excuse me, I'm not an astrologist. I just energetically am mindful of all this stuff. And so with Taurus, you may have had an opportunity to really look at your relationship to your self-worth and what you value, your gifts, your ability to tune into abundance, and whether that's elevating it, calling it in, whatever you want with that. And so I want you to think about just these last couple of days, and it started over the weekend. Like, what started over the weekend that really showed up for you and maybe culminated yesterday, and now it's like, think of it as like a wave. Like, it was like the wave crashed and there's still kind of like some water coming in, so we're still in the energy of it. And I found, for me personally, that an area that, isn't this like, it's so cliche with healing. It's like, but I healed that area. We have these misconceptions that once we've worked on a specific area of our life, it's handled, it's done. No, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. There's different layers to it. And in our self-awareness, it's really important to have gentleness and compassion with oneself, right? When we have these things come up. So for me, it really was around my ability to love myself and to feel sovereign within my being, which has to do with self-worth. And I'm going to share this because maybe it'll support you and help you. When you grow up with a parent and you're enmeshed with a parent, this was my background, and you're enmeshed and you don't, it's not safe to totally feel because you're too worried about how everybody else feels. You develop these patterns of relating. And, for a part of my life, it was more survival patterns, and then it graduates, and then it becomes more of like, it shows up sometimes. And it showed up for me over the weekend. And I was triggered about something, and I was just thinking about how to make a long story short, it had to do around my ability to regulate my own nervous system, to feel good within myself about the bigger changes I'm making in my life. And that lesson came through the lesson of my ability to have a strong foundation with him. And I really believe, and I channeled this for the Soulcast, that a lot of this energy right now is about how you build a home within yourself, a home built upon a strong foundation of resiliency and love and, what you value. That's a lot of what Taurus is. It's what you value. And so your home within yourself is that sacred space within you of self-awareness, of observation of how you are tracking within your life. Sorry, I have something in my eye. And oddly enough, I didn't start with something in my eye, but something somehow got in my eye. So for this week, we have a big theme of how we can create home within ourselves, loving ourselves, stepping into our gifts so that we can be of service to this world. And this weekend for me, and maybe for you, and even going into Tuesday, highlighted where I wasn't operating at my highest, where there's a chink in my armor, where I could grow and become a better person. And how exciting is that, right? I mean, we say we want to, this is, I am somebody who's always, I'm always working towards becoming my future self, and I have all these things that I'm doing. But in that, there's operating systems and beliefs that aren't congruent with my future self. And that's what became blaringly obvious over the weekend. I was like, oops, so I just share with you because maybe you experienced something similar too, where you were thinking that, you were really buttoned up and in your ability to really have a home and loving yourself and taking care of yourself and showing up in the ways that you want. And then maybe something, was reflecting back to you, oh, wait, there's an opportunity for growth. So with that eclipse, and when the computer comes back online, what was once blind to us, what was once in, kind of in our blind spots, invisible in some way, becomes so obvious. And it's like, oh my goodness. So in your self-awareness, really, I'm going to kind of keep this short and sweet today because this is more of just a little check-in. What can you do to make sure that you are cultivating home within so that the rest of your life feels that energy too? It's going to extend out. And whether that's with your masculine, feminine dynamics and energy within yourself, but just making sure that you have found a way to have a really firm foundation so that what you are cultivating, what you are growing is going to really be able to expand, So that's what I want to share with you today. Short, sweet. I would love to hear how this astrology affected you, how you're doing, and then most importantly, the self-care. That's what came in for me is whenever I feel disconnected from myself, I always go back to my rituals of what makes me feel grounded within myself. And for me, it's lifting weights and doing HIIT workouts, and it's doing my sauna and taking time to journal and pull some cards. And actually my favorite deck, one of my favorite decks is right here. I'm going to show it to you. Is this deck. I pull this deck. It's called Wisdom of the Oracle. It's faded out because it's on my coffee table and it's been out in the sun, but it's by Colette Baron-Reid. It is such an incredible deck. I love this deck so much. And I pull a few cards every week, and it really just helps me come up with the energetic themes of what I'm working on. And it's supportive. It's really supportive. It's prescriptive, not predictive. So anyways, I hope you guys are having a great week. I just wanted to say hello. Put in the comments how you're doing and what kind of self-care rituals you're doing to support yourself, because the whole key with after something big like this is to integrate, is to take the awareness that you had and create a plan for how you want to shift. So it could be how you want to feel if whatever you're working on, let's say you are not feeling as confident about the direction you're moving, like with your work or something. But there's a future version of you that's like super confident, showing up in her gifts, getting online, doing all the things, whatever it is that you do for a living. I want you to imagine her. What is she, how is she, or him, how are they operating? And then I want you to bring that into the present moment and really come up with a blueprint for how you're going to start to align with those feelings and taking action steps aligned with that future vision. Because I think that is how not only you kind of start to integrate, but you start to move forward and you start to be able to change things, because it just takes one moment of self-awareness of how you're operating and a decision and a commitment to change and for your life to go in a whole new direction. So I'm going to leave you with that. I hope you have a great rest of your week.